Hello and welcome to the Bear Down Breakdown here on Sports Tree LTD. Folks, I'm Conner Rowntree. We're going to jump right into this week's episode with our top 5 NFL power ranking. Coming in at number 5, going down 3 spots, it's the Los Angeles Rams. Can't be losing the way they did last week. Going down another 3 spots is the Green Bay Packers, obviously without Aaron Rodgers. They lost last week, that's okay. The Tennessee Titans are coming in at number 3, making their top 5 debut. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are coming in at number 2, making their return to the top 5. And the Arizona Cardinals are back on top, back in first place, up 2 spots from number 3 last week. Our NFL injury report now, folks. Sam Darnold, that's the big name. He's out at quarterback, and that's the only real update that you need. Baker Mayfield's a little banged up there, but outside of that, folks, most fantasy teams should be good to go from previous weeks. Getting into my performance update now, folks. I'm 64-20 with my head-to-head picks this season, right around 76%, so we're still winning, but it's time to get back up above 80, and there are some great picks this week that will lay down for you across the platform with this episode of the Bear Down Breakdown, and then our episode of Trees 3 come Friday. Getting into our NFL bump and stump of the week now, our NFL stump of the week has to go to the Buffalo Bills. You simply can't lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars. You simply can't lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars and only put up 6 points. How do you not score a touchdown against the Jags? Josh Allen, one of the most prolific passing offenses in the league. What are you doing? It's very simple. If you can't score a touchdown against the Jags, I don't see how you can win big games. Especially when you're taking over 100 yards in penalties, emotional penalties, undisciplined penalties. The Bills just didn't look like a contender to me on Sunday. Let's see if they can right the ship this coming week, but they got our stump of the week. Folks, our bump of the week has to go to the Purdue Boilermakers in the NCAA. Yes, the team is 6-3, but they've knocked off 2 top 5 teams in the last month. First up, they took down Iowa, the number 2 seed Iowa on October 16th, and then they took down Michigan State on November 6th, 40-29. Let me tell you something, folks. The Boilermakers got something big in the kettle, and they're boiling something up for this NCAA season. All the upsets and keeping us all on our seats. That's what we love to see here on Sports Tree. Purdue, you get our bump of the week. All right, folks, now getting into our fantasy up and down segment of the show. If you need help on defense, we got a defense that you should put up and into your lineup and start them this week. It's the Tennessee Titans. Double-digit fantasy points in 3 consecutive weeks, and they get a Saints team without an affirmative quarterback. This Titans D has the potential to go off for another double-digit performance come Sunday, so make sure you pick him up and put him in to your fantasy lineup if you need help on defense. If you need help on offense, we got a wide receiver for you. It's Donovan Peoples-Jones. No more OBJ. Baker has a point to prove, and Peoples-Jones is the beneficiary of this situation. In his last 2 appearances, he's averaging over 90 yards with 3 touchdowns in those pair of games. Yeah, make sure you get him up into your lineup. He's the deep threat now in Cleveland. As for our downs now, folks, this one's kind of obvious, but I told you to put him up, so I'm going to tell you to put him down. It's Khalil Herbert. David Montgomery is back in the lineup for the Chicago Bears. They're on bye week this week. And yes, Herbert was a great fill-in, a great understudy, putting up 33 fantasy points across weeks 6 and 7. But all good things come to an end. It's time to put down Khalil Herbert. Another running back that's had a great run that you need to put down, who's also entering the bye week and also has their predecessor returning, it's Devante Booker. Make sure you put him down. Saquon Barkley is a 3-down back, and he's getting back into the lineup after the bye week. So make sure you move on from those backup running backs. Getting into our breakdown segment of the show now, folks. Well, the Bears break down against the Steelers on Monday night. The Bears lost to not only the Steelers, but the referees. Like, touchdowns off the board, pass interference calls not called, just horrendous reffing. Twitter was blowing up. I'm not saying that as a Bears supporter, I'm saying that as an analyst. It was actually horrendous stuff. You can see it on my Twitter there. Look, positives to take away from the game. Justin Fields, by far his best performance, drove the Bears downfield and tied the game. The only problem was he did it a little too fast. The Bears tacked on the extra point, took the lead, but the Steelers marched down the field and they won the game. All in all, Bears fans, it's time to put those playoff dreams to bed permanently. But remember, it's not a nightmare anymore. You have Justin Fields. He's playing well. There's hope. Dangerous, but there's hope. As for our Bear Down segment of the show, folks, we're going to skip it this week as the Bears are on their bye week. All right, folks, getting into Thursday night football now. The Baltimore Ravens fly down to Miami to face the Dolphins. I think they're going to make fin soup, tuna salad, anything with a fish getting filleted, sashimi'd, if you will. Yeah, that's going to be the Dolphins come Thursday night. Pete is already blowing up the hotline. But hey, I also work for Monkey Knife Fights, so what can they do? Lamar Jackson is having an MVP caliber season. Identical records at 6-2 through 8 weeks that we saw in his MVP campaign in 2019. He's just been slightly more efficient with the football passing. That's not a bad thing as a quarterback, being better at passing the football, developing that. Miami, on the other hand, is coming off of a 5-sack performance. The Miami blitzes 38.3% of the time on all dropbacks. That's the second highest rate in the NFL. Lamar Jackson has a 57.8 passer rating against the blitz, and he's got the legs to evade those sacks. So if Miami wants to bring that heat, please do it. That's what Lamar is saying. Please come at me, because I'll shred you with my arm, or I'll take it outside and sashimi you with my legs. I like the Ravens to win this game. No matter who's under center for the Fins, it doesn't look good. Whether it's Tua or Brissett, each one of them only has one win on the season respectively, and they both have QB passer ratings below 86, which is well below league average. Baltimore's got a top 15 defense. They got the rush attack on offense, and Lamar Jackson is throwing the ball. Take the Ravens on the road. All right, folks, it's time for Grizzly Bear's Thursday night football pick now. He did call a big upset last week, but he's back in the ring to take another swing.
I like fishies. Fishies, fishies, fishies. Go Dolphins! Dad, I want to go to Miami. I want to party.
Getting into our survivor pool pick now. It was the Buffalo Bills last week. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, it should have been the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills were 16.5-point favorites. They should have won the game. They lost their stumps. Don't worry, we're moving on. Little recap, though, because it's survivor pool and teams that I can't take. Week 1, we used Kansas City Chiefs. Week 2, the Denver Broncos. Week 3 was the Las Vegas Raiders. Week 4 was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Week 5, we used the Ravens. Week 6 was the LA Rams. Week 7, the Arizona Cardinals. Week 8, we lost with Cincinnati. Week 9, we lost with the Buffalo Bills, but we're getting back into the win column this week, folks. The pick is in. The Indianapolis Colts. Wentz in that Colts offense is cooking right now. Wentz coming off a 3-touchdown performance with a passer rating over 130. He's now thrown 17 touchdowns to just 3 interceptions this season. And the Jags pass D, well, they did shut down Josh Allen last week, but they've been horrendous this season. They rank bottom 5 in QB rating against and second last in completion percentage given up. If the Colts pass game doesn't do it, well, their defense is pretty stout, and Jonathan Taylor in that rush attack sure will. He's averaging 5.9 yards per carry this season and already 8 rushing touchdowns. Take the Colts at home. All right, folks, getting into our trivia question for this week now. We talked a little college football earlier in the show, giving Purdue our bump of the week, and we're going to keep our trivia question in the realm of college football. What college football team's helmet has an orange and green U on it? Here's a picture of it, folks. Head on over to sportstree.ltd.com right now. Hit sign up. And remember that upgrading your subscription is an upgrading your chances to win up to $15,000 a year and tickets to see your favorite teams play live. Folks, I'm Conner Rowntree, and remember to hit it hard.